Welcome to our weekly new global media talk show. Today is May 12th, 2024. Today we're gonna be talking about OIC. Um, we're gonna have a recap on what transpired, the aftermath, and then where do we move from here. I have my co-host here, Sam Ceesay. Sam, welcome.
Thank you.
And I'm
Yep.
your host here in New York, Momodou Sawaneh. Thank you, Sam. It appears that a lot has been, said prior to OIC. The schedule has changed a couple of times. I think one or two times, and also people were speculating about preparedness that Gambia is not ready, and then the OIC came, and it was, it went 2 days, and thankfully it ended with peacefully. And some people think it was successful. Some said it was not. So I think we can just have a recap on this. Um, I know some of the facts, are there, but some are still pending. We just want to talk about what we know or what we heard and our opinions about it, and then kind of educate our audience, what how to move forward. Yeah. So we can jump right into it. I'm pretty sure you've been aware of many things that are out there, especially the 100 vehicles that will go to the government, and what government will do with it, and also the millions. I mean, for the five-star hotel and all other logistics that transpired. So I will let you come in, and then I will ask questions, and I'll also make comments.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mrs. Swanee. So, yeah, the OIC, this has been the talk of the town. And of course, we all know, and just like you said, we're only going to talk about what we know. And there's still a lot to learn about it and a lot to be revealed to the public. However, I would say that anyone that calls it a success may not know what was all the details and what is all involved in OIC summit. I'll put it that way. They just don't know what should have been all there that we didn't have. So they will call it success. Yeah, people have the opinion, rights to their opinion, so they can say whatever they want to say. However, I think it was not successful because it was not well planned. And like I always say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So that's the way I look at it. The proper planning didn't take place, even though this has been postponed probably twice. I think twice it's been pushed, and you would think that if something got pushed the first time because we were not ready, we should be ready for it, right?
Right.
And we didn't get ready for it, and until it's time to really host the OIC, we were not ready. Gambia was not prepared. There was still some construction happening during people's arrival, the arrival of the delegates and things like that. So there were a lot of things that we missed. I talked about these as well, the missed opportunities and things that should have been done and things that should have happened and things that would have been a great advantage for the country, for Gambia. Um, for example, I'll start with the missed opportunities. The missed opportunities is if you have such an event and they pump a lot of money, they give you a lot of grants, money, free money to develop your country. I think that's worth everything. We need to take advantage of every single dime of that money to put something into our country that is going to make our country look better, make our people's lives better as well. So, so for us not to be able to do that, especially building a five-star hotel, I think with the amount of money that we had, we could have even built not only the five-star hotel, but a great hospital. I've been talking a couple of years ago. I started this healthcare reform thing. And on the healthcare reform that I talked about that Gambia needs, it starts with a new hospital. I wanted to start with a new hospital. This was the best opportunity for Gambia to really, since OIC summit was announced for it to be held in Gambia, we had an opportunity to build a brand new hotel. We have an opportunity to build a brand new hospital as well, because you know uh, these people coming. If you think about 57 heads of states, do you think 57 heads of states will just travel to a place without knowing anything about the place? No, they get briefings. And if, in fact, as they get closer, they get weekly, if not daily, weekly briefings about the country. They get briefings about from their own people, and especially the ones that have embassies, diplomatic ties with Gambia. They have embassies or consulates in the Gambia. I mean, believe it or not, anything that happens in Gambia, those embassies, the consul section, the ambassadors or their consulates are sending those information to their country. You know it or not. I mean, I worked at the United States Embassy. I know that for a long time, for years. So I know that anything that happened in Gambia, the State Department knows about it. It's just like that. So anything that was happening in Gambia, good or bad, is being transmitted over to these countries. So these heads of states already know what is happening in Gambia. They already know whether there was any five-star hotel being built, any construction. So they know about what their well-being is going to be if they come to Gambia from a security and safety standpoint, safety and security standpoint, um, and as well as the healthcare and the infrastructure and the things that they are used to. They already know that they're not going to get the things that they're used to in Gambia, since there's no five-star hotel. If we had built a five-star hotel, it would have been a brand new five-star hotel with presidential suites that will accommodate all these presidents. So that will make them feel a little bit better. It's brand new. Nobody's ever lived in there. Everything in it will be brand new. That's encouraging. That will make someone go see that presidential suite. And a presidential suite will be something that will have a whole lot of stuff. I mean, it will be big enough for them to be able to stay in there. So when they know that all of this is not going to be there, so a lot of people that will cancel. They will not come. They will just send delegates. They will send because they are part of the organization, because we are all in this. They know that we are all in this together. They will still send their representatives. They will send delegates. They will send the people to go represent them and not themselves. And that for after the event, when I learned there was only 6 presidents that came, it was shocking for me. Out of 57, only 6 came. That is a telltale sign. That tells us that Gambia was not ready for these people. That's part of the reason they're not there. So that's one. I want to, so the corruption part of it, I don't even want to get into that because there's so much corruption in Gambia. What happened to all this money? What happened to all the funds? What happened to all the things that we lost that we should have had? Why did we lose all of that? Where's all our money? So these are things. And last but not the least, after the event, I saw on several times, I also heard it on the news, the drivers that they use for running all these errands and the delegates did not get paid. They did not get paid. They were out there looking for money because they worked them so many hours. They left their families out there going to work, hoping and expecting to get paid something extra that they can bring home and feed their families. At the end of the day, they told them, let's pray. Pray to God. Let's pray. They gave the prayers. So prayers is not going to fill your stomach. You can't fill your
family's stomach. Let's pray for what? Let's pray for what?
They should pray because it ended okay and safely and all that stuff. Pray and thank God and thank everyone for all their efforts. That's all they did. But so when
prayers don't feed you.
Exactly. Prayers is not going to feed people in their family, a hungry family that is sitting out there.
It's not going to put food on the table. No.
Yeah, it's not going to. So how can you do that? Where's all the money? Why didn't you pay these people? In fact, that is a lack of planning, a really lack of plan. Because when you have something like this, there are 2 ways you can go about with the drivers. One, you can say, since you're all government drivers, you're already existing drivers for the country or for the state, we're going to let you work overtime and you get paid overtime. All right. Give them that incentive. Let them work overtime, and they will be encouraged to work more overtime and get paid at the end of the day. At the end of that, so that way you're not promising something you can't do. If you don't do that, and you're just going to put them on duty, and you told them that they're going to give them something, I think there was a mistake on both sides. The drivers also did not demand and ask, "What do we have? What are we going to get?" They didn't know. They just followed the instructions and do it, but they don't know how much they're going to pay them. So it's just like getting into something, but you don't know what's in there for you. So they did that.
But they were expecting something.
They were expecting something. So the government should have said, two things. Like I said, work. We're going to work you overtime, but you will get paid overtime. Your paycheck is going to be bigger than what you normally have. Good. That will give them incentive to work, and they won't expect anything until the end of the month. End of the month, they get paid. They have a heavier paycheck. That's one thing. The other part is you can say, all right, we're going to pull you off from your normal duties and assign you to OIC for these 2-3 day contract. And at the end of this contract, each and every individual will be paid this much. You have to be very specific. You got to give them an amount, and they will agree to. Those who agree to do it, they will do it, and expecting that that's what they will get. They will not be working, and at the end of the day, they don't know how much they have. That how much will be paid to them. So you got to make all of those clear from that ministry, all the way to the last person that will be coordinating drivers should all know this is what we're going to give you when you're finished. Get a list of all the drivers, know who is who, and all the whole 9 yards, and prepare a check for them. Prepare something for all of them. So at the end of the day, when the whole thing is over, you call a meeting, get all the drivers there, and hand them their check. That's the days that say, thank you for successfully carrying out your duties, and here's a paycheck for you. Here's the bonus that we prepared for you. Give it to them that day. You have to give those kinds of things immediately. Don't let people sit and go for a long time. So I'm going to stop here for a little bit and allow you to come in. But it was really poor planning. Everything was just, to me, was just not done correctly.
Thank you, Sam.
Yep.
You mentioned something about the prayer thing with the drivers. That I see as I think that's funny because
Yeah.
it's such a project that definitely people have been compensated. The musicians, the people who are in the media who are
Yep.
promoting it. Of course, a driver is not just merely a driver. You just cannot just go and drive, a couple of hours and expect not to get some money. So like you said, I don't know how they prioritize their expenses, but that couldn't be on a voluntary basis.
Nope.
These are the kind of things that, it needs, proper management and also proper leadership, because you gotta make sure that you trickle down the finances to be able to cover, all those things. You don't expect people to be driving for free on a project like
Exactly.
that. Oh, I see.
Yep.
So I think that was mismanagement on the side of the leadership or
Yep.
people in charge. And also, they need to be fair because, the country, this is an opportunity for employment
Yep.
for folks, even though it is a 2-day event, but the process, took longer, right? Since the planning phase, the arrangements, the buildings, and all of that. So those are opportunities for citizens to be able to, make, like work and make a living. Anything that will involve and give people opportunity to work and able to pay their bills is development, right? It's a job creation. So this OIC, like you said, should have been very, very successful and brings a lot of revenue to the country if it was properly managed and planned. But it appears that what these folks are looking at is, make it like an elephant project, like, let the money get pumped out and we just spend areas, cover areas, and then the rest, hey, go somewhere else, you know. So this is what I'm saying, because even the 5-star hotel, Imagine if that hotel, well, the building of that hotel was carried out. That hotel will stay in the Gambia after the OIC, and how many employment opportunities that would create, even during the OIC for Gambians, because they're not gonna hire people abroad to come and work in those hotels. It's gonna be employed by Gambians, and also those hotels will be there. That hotel will be there for other future events. We have, meetings that happen in the Gambia, other things that happen. That hotel will actually be collecting revenues. So I'm not the notion that we don't need a hotel or hotel is not in place or we don't know where the funds are. We should even be asking that today. These things should have been, should have been put in place. Any opportunity that will bring development to the country, it needs to be taken advantage of. So I see a missed opportunity here or lack of proper leadership or management. And also you mentioned other areas like you know, having to having to follow the logistics on things that need to be in place. Like certain projects were not completed, certain highways were not completed, and we know about that, we heard about that. And certain certain things were not, in place. Like the issue of the 100 vehicles. Okay, the 100 vehicles that came, I don't know how the government acquire those vehicles, but the vehicles need to I mean, it looks like, it's under the government now. So they asked the Ministry of Information about it. He said that they will have time to schedule and discuss where those government vehicle, I mean, that 100 vehicle will go. So those vehicles were not bought upfront. They are not lended somehow, either lended or rented or whatever it is. So we need to know how those vehicles will be, how those vehicle will be used. Because even if they are brand new vehicle, once you buy a car, the value deteriorates right there. It's not the same value that you bought it, even if you drive it for 2 days. We all know that. That's how vehicles are. So they either if this was on a loan basis, they either utilize it within the government or they sell it. So the question here is the same corruptive practice that this government or this administration does, just like with the Jammeh's luxurious cars and cows and cattle and all those things in question, the same thing that might transpire here. Or less than until Gambian people stand up and then say we need accountability. We need to make sure that we know where the money is going, where these cars and other things are going. They could go and then sell this among themselves for cheaper price. These people in government, they could do that, for chicken change. And guess what? Who is gonna suffer? The Gambian people. Because if you took these things on a loan and you go and sell that for small change, and what happened? We are in debt. We are seriously in debt. We are further in debt. Right now, Gambia is so much in debt that we cannot even imagine. So I think what they should do is, they should come clean and tell us how this were acquired. If they are on a loan base, I think serious talk need to be done to see how this vehicle could cover the cost of those loans. Yeah, you cannot be being in deficit all the time. Like you're doing projects and you're always in deficits. That's why we are not going where we're going. That's why the cost of food is getting expensive every day. That's why people cannot find jobs. That's why people are not able to. People are stealing. That's why people are killing. Because why? The economic, there's no, like a sustainable economy. Everything, we in debt, we are, we are lack of this thing, we are lack of this thing. We can't move forward. So my point here is that those 100 vehicles need to be serious. The serious thought need to be put in place. Let they be transparent about it. Let they be accountable about it. Let make sure that if it was in a loan base, Let's find a way how to get that loan paid right away instead of having to keep those vehicles or give it to other officials there at a very cheap price. It doesn't make sense because our future would definitely be tied to that. So another thing is about those vehicles. First of all, the logistic of acquiring those vehicles was even poor. You know, there are a lot of luxurious vehicles in the Gambia that could be rented. Why do you go and either purchase or loan those vehicles when you could rent 2 days event? You know, how many luxurious vehicles are running in Gambia? It's more than 100. They could have done that, and that will just cover a certain amount. That's it. How much you gonna rent a luxurious car for 2 days or 3 days? Not that much. So this is a missed opportunity. And there are even some government vehicles even that could be used. So the reason why people are more cautious here is because we need to be financially responsible. We need to be making sure we keep our eye on our expenses. Expenses that doesn't make sense should be cut off. You don't need those. Don't do it because you wanna make yourself look better. No, Gambia is struggling. I mean, even the other, folks that are coming to this OIC, they knew that, you know. And then the reason why many head of state didn't show up, like you said, there's no five-star hotel where security could be the focus base. If there was a one location for all of them to be staying, I'm telling you, and they have solid security around that area, some of this head of state, some of these kings, some of this, high delegates will show up. But like you said, people will do their homework and find out, about a particular place before they send their leaders there. So yes, we did it. You could call it a success. You could criticize it. It was done. Thank God in peace, which is more important. Nobody was hurt. Okay, those are good things. But could it be done better? You know, could this be taken advantage of? Could it bring more revenue to the country? Where did the money go? These are all unanswered questions. Like you said, some people are not getting paid. And it was not communicated. So these are all loopholes that this government need to focus on. But instead, they're just looking for political, score points, historical, history being written. Yes, I mean every leader would want, to have, some legacy, like this. So, but don't just grab it just because you want that. Look at what your people would get out of it. Look at what it will bring. Look at how this will help you instead of, being stagnant or being, behind. So I think those are the things that, I pick up from your conversation. And, I just want to find out, like, what do you think about um, some of the things and the aftermath? What do you think it will do to Gambia moving forward? The impact. Is this OIC? Is this something that will have an impact, happening in the Gambia in a positive way or negative way? And then, what are the things to learn from?
Well, thank you. Thank you for getting into all the details of it as well. I think, you know, um, I call it a missed opportunity. Either way I look at it, any way I look at it is a missed opportunity because today we could have been dealing with something that is good for Gambia. Well, right now, what we have is a highway. We have a highway that was built. Yeah, we will benefit from that highway. There could be more roads from that highway other than just that one highway. Yes, the highway will make it a lot easier for people. From the airport, you can take that highway instead of going through the main thoroughfare towards Westfield. It's going to make life easier a little bit. But there is a big but. The missed opportunity that we could have gotten is now I'll get into details of what I said on my audios as well. that five-star hotel would have employed thousands of people. And not only when you built this five-star hotel in the Gambia, it's going to accommodate these. It would have encouraged more of these presidents to come in because they will have a better place and better security. But the aftermath is what we need to look at. What that brings to Gambia. What it brings to Gambia is a lot of employment opportunities because when you build a five-star hotel, prior to opening that hotel, they would have hired a lot of people, Gambians, that are going to be working there, that will all be practicing at the nearby hotels. You know, I look at hotel. I used to be a hotel manager at Port Columbus International Airport in Columbus. Concourse, sorry, I worked at Concourse Hotel, and then I became a hotel manager for Amada up north in Columbus there. So if you think about it, you have to have staff for reservations. You have to have staff for the front office of the hotel. You have to have staff for the guest services. You think about sales and catering. You think about the bar and restaurant in the hotel. You think about the fitness center, all need staff. You think about banquet. I mean, for all the events, there will be thousands of people that would be hired for this, and then last but not the least I could mention is housekeeping. There are people that have to clean these rooms every day. I mean, that's going to be a lot of rooms to clean. So that means a lot of people will be hired, will be employed there. And they also need vehicles and drivers for the hotel, for hotel shuttle service, bus service, shuttle service, transportation of different things. I mean, think about all the people that are going to work in the restaurant. So we lost a lot of opportunity. And this is what the OIC is not leaving for Gambia, or Gambia didn't do for ourselves to have this aftermath. Because today, if all of these went into place, today, OIC would have been, we would have all said it was successful. And not only successful, but a lot of Gambians would have been happy because they all now have a job in a hotel that is going to be used by other people. Because now that the whole world or people that have interest in coming to Gambia for tourism will know that there is a newer hotel and they want to check it out. You will see people that will want to pay for presidential suites and stay in there. People from the U.S., people from Europe, and all over the world. In fact, the delegates that came for the OIC summit will also have people among them that would say, hey, I want to go back to Gambia. That hotel is beautiful. I want to go back there. I like the food. I like the people. I like everything about the hotel. They want to take their vacations and come back and stay in that hotel. See, all of these. So you think about how many people are sitting in Gambia without a job right now. The unemployment rate is very high there. On top of that, we have the backway boys, some of them that are returning. And EU is deporting a lot of Gambians back. I mean, last year, so many flights went in there, some with 25 people, some with 30, 35 people. We've seen all of those there. Some of those were restaurant workers. Some of them were cooks in the hotels, or different places, restaurants. Some of them, all of them had some kind of profession that they could have been doing in this hotel, right? Now, that is one aspect. So I'm saying that we lost thousands of jobs for that, because of that. On the other hand, if I think about a hospital, and I would say that part of the reason, and I think I mentioned this in here and on my audios as well, these presidents are not going to go to a place where they know that, God forbid, if something happened, if they get involved in an accident, in case of emergency, there's no way out quicker. There's no quicker way to get out other than get back on their planes and go. And going from Gambia in their own planes to go back to their home will be a long way. They could die on the way. So they're looking for something. Where is an emergency place that we can have an emergency? If someone has a heart attack, someone has some kind of seizure or something, anything happened to them, in case of any type of emergency, they are looking for something that will be very well expedited. We don't have a helicopter service in the Gambia. All right, we don't have anything that can quickly pick somebody and put them in the right place for for surgery or for something that could help them save their lives. We don't have that facility. This was our opportunity. The OIC, the amount of money that was given to us, we could have built a brand new hotel that I proposed 3 years ago. I proposed the Bakote dump site to be condemned and restructured, rebuilt a brand new hotel there. That could be a multi-million-dollar hospital with a story building that would be at least 2, 3, 4, 5 floors. All right, with a helicopter landing site. I proposed this like 3, 4 years ago. All right. And the purpose of the helicopter is we all know the traffic in Gambia. Ambulance have so ambulance, our regular ambulance struggle to get away from regular traffic to go to places. So having a hospital that will be a first hospital with everything in there that you think of. Anything you think of in American hospital is there. Put that in there. On top of that, you put a hospital, a helicopter landing on top of the hospital. Since the helicopter does not need a runway to run to take off and run for then take off, and it can just land in the hospital. I said this was an opportunity to think about how many people will be employed in the hospital also. That's another opportunity. And not only that, it's going to give us the world-class hospital in the country with a helicopter there for emergencies in case of a very serious accident where life-threatening issues, situations are happening. A helicopter can fly, bypass all the traffic, go to the accident site, pick up people in those critical conditions, and fly them straight to the hospital in minutes, just like that. And that would have taken, if anything, worst case scenario, a helicopter can even go to Dakar. So I mentioned this 3, 4 years ago that if we have that kind of opportunity to build that type of hospital at the Bakote dump site, it will be our opportunity to shut down the RVTH because the RVTH is already sick. It's a hospital that's already sick. How can you cure sick people in a sick place? That's the way I look at it. So it will give us an opportunity to shut down the RVTH, move all the patients here in a better facility with everything that they need to provide them a better healthcare. And that will be a healthcare center for every Gambian. Then we can gradually on our own, we can save money. That hospital can really generate the income, the money, the revenue to build another brand new hospital in RVTH, replace that one. And then they can go on and do another one a couple of years later in Bansang or off the river or Basse, somewhere around there. I recommended that every region should have a hospital like that with a helicopter landing site. That's where we need to go because we did not plan, Gambia, we did not plan ahead from independence. We didn't plan ahead what our roads should look like. So everything is densely populated. Our roads can only go maybe one more lane wide, both directions. And after that, there's no more space to build roads unless you build overpass. That's the only way to do it. So our leaders need to think about the future. They need to think about what is good for Gambia. I mean, how are we looking at the future? We're in today. Today, we're already crowded. So they should be thinking about tomorrow. If we're crowded today, think about what it will be. What will it be in 5 to 10 years' time? It'll be a chaos. It'll be a chaos. So they need to think along that. Now, just a combination of those two, having a brand new hospital and having a brand new 5-star hotel would have employed half of the people that are sitting down without a job. About half of them will all be working. Now, poverty level will drop. Economy will go up. Cost of living will be better for people. You see, when all of these people are employed. But no, there are selfish people in our government that want to look after themselves and their families. And they don't want anybody else to have something else, just them. Without realizing when there is a change of government, just like what happened after Jawara regime and after Jammeh regime, is the same thing that's going to happen. What is that? They will turn around and look back at the people that were in the government and go after them. They want to ask for the next government is going to say, where is our money? So where is our money? They're going to seize their properties, investigate, and try to recover some of our money by selling their properties. They sold Jammeh's properties. for cheap, very cheap. And next government is not going to do that. They're going to sell their properties and bring all that money back. And what would that do? That will cause them in serious problems, because now they put their families in that situation. And they could have avoided all that if they had not done what they did, what they did now. So we have a lot of missed opportunities here. So, and this is an opportunity that we may not see in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So we lost it. To me, it was a loss. That's the way I look at it.
Okay, very good, very good. So I was reading through the CEO's statement about the summit. Yankuba Diba. He mentioned that the summit went successfully. It was not I'm gonna quote it because I like to quote this. He said that this is just to tell you, when asked about at the press conference about the outcome of the summit, he said, this is just to tell you that we have a very successful summit by all counts, both logistics and management, because the summit are evaluated not by the beauty of the roads and so forth, but by the quality of the declaration and quality of communiques that emanate from the summit. And I am here to tell that we have come up with the best outcome that any summit can expect. We have been lucky to attend such a summit and the extraordinary summit, but I must say this Banjul summit is one of the best that the OIC ever organized. That's what Young Wadiba said, the CEO of the OIC, Secretariat CEO.
Well, I don't know.
What do you have response to that?
I don't. He has his reasons of saying that, but I don't know if he's been out to other summits and see what happened. What actually happens in other summits. Okay, if you know what actually happens in other summits, you will look at the Gambia summit as not a very successful one. The outcome of it, the turnout of it from presidential candidates tells you a sign. That is a one sign. Yeah, so hosting a summit, people came in and now we're in the summit. What gets said in the summit? We're not talking about that. That's fine. That's normally the same thing, similar things that get said in every summit. They talk about things in there. So Gambia may have done a good job in that one. But before and after is not a good thing. The preparation, the logistics, the outcome, and what we miss, the missed opportunities, those are the things that we need to look at. That's what we want to look at. And not only that, the security personnel that they put at the airport, I saw it written that they said they're hungry. They did not feed them. I mean, just start with that. You want security personnel to be out there to welcome these presidential candidates and the delegates.
And they are hungry.
But they are hungry. I mean, they are hungry. They were hungry. They didn't have any food. Some of them had to ask their families to bring them food. And an empty stomach cannot stand for too long. You can't be on an empty stomach and stand for 8 hours or more like that. No food. It's not good for them. So in case of emergency in that airport, what do you think will happen? They will collapse easily because they will not have the energy to do anything. So you have security personnel at the airport sitting there, standing there hungry. So there's a lot of things that went wrong.
When he was asked, the same the CEO, Mr. Diba, Yankuba Diba, when he was asked about the hotel, he said the government made it clear that it doesn't have money to build the hotel.
They gave them the money. That's why I said sometimes they try to fool Gambians. They think that we're all stupid. We're not stupid. We know they gave them money. They had a lot of money. And they could have built that hotel. And the first time the excuse I heard was the person that they gave the hotel, the contractor that was supposed to build the hotel, could not build it because it was in court case. Why didn't you forget him?
That's the guy with the Senegalese man, businessman.
Kick him out the door and tell him, you know what, forget you. We're getting somebody else. Go to plan B. But you cannot make that one person
but the CEO is saying, we wanted to take a loan at the beginning, but the government wearing but the loans were in concessional, so we couldn't get a hotel built on our own. So
See,
therefore, we
uh-huh.
explored we explored different possibility, and one possibility that was identified was a public-private partnership, where we had 100% equity, and 90% of the equity was to be provided by concessionary, and then the 10% of the equity, which is the land, would be contributed by the government. So he said, Mr. Diba said the company dubbed Emogan was created to deal with the hotel project, but unfortunately, the work stalled.
Well,
So
I mean, that's a failure
they,
on their
they,
part. Like I
they,
said, you know,
they wanted to partner with public-private sector,
oh
you know,
man, oh
and then
man,
so that
oh man.
90% of that could be provided, and then
I
10% come from the government, and that didn't
I
work either.
I think he was talking to people that he knows don't know much, and they're not going to ask him certain questions. But if there were people in this in his press conference that knew what happened, would have told him the truth. There, they would have stopped him. They would have said something. But anyway, that was his
Yeah,
opinion. That
and
was
then
how he wanted
he
to
also
see.
mentioned that the audits of the OIC project. He said that OIC secretarial expenditure have been audited, and that his office is ready to be audited at all times and whenever necessary. So they're confident that they want, anybody can audit them anytime.
Okay, okay. Well, like I said, uh, sometimes you can fool people, but you cannot fool all the people all the times, right? So that's the key word
That's a famous song by Bob Marley, yeah.
there. I'm
So
sure that. So,
during the
so
press conference, Dr. Momodou Tangara, the foreign minister as well,
mhm,
mentioned that the government received a lot of unsolicited proposals
okay,
from people charging them millions to help them organize the summit because they doubt the country's capacity to do it.
okay,
He said that we had expected those offers. They were thinking to take those offers, but we would have been in a bigger trouble today because some of them were asking like 50,000 euros per month, but we refused and insisted that we can do it. He said. The minister singled out Saudi Arabia, Mauritania, Senegal, Turkey, and Morocco for their tremendous support. So in other words, what he's saying that they have many solicited, but if they had depended on that, they would have been in trouble. So and then some of them are asking a lot of we are asking, 50,000 euros uh per month. So I don't know what he means by that, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think what we're hearing now is just the excuses. We're hearing the excuses, and Gambian people want results. We were expecting good results, not excuses. So they will come up with all excuses, and because they didn't deliver the results. That's the way I look at it. They didn't deliver the results that Gambian people expect, or we expected from this OIC. So
Yeah. So
to me,
in that conference, they were also saying that beside the 57 OIC members that came to participate, there
mhm.
were 14 special envoys and observers who attended who attended the summit, and they were all saying that it was successful.
Yeah, we didn't hear from them. If we have heard from them, and if they have been to other summits before Gambia, they would have said something different, right? That's the way I look at it. So we didn't hear from them. We're only hearing him because what he is saying, he's only saying it to the Gambians. Yeah, he's saying to the Gambians. And a lot of Gambians are not in tune with what really happened and not in tune with finances, so they don't know. the average Gambian, a lot of these poor farmers out there that are working and building and paying their revenue, their taxes, and all of this. The tax dollars is being overspent, is being mishandled, and all of that stuff. They don't know. So the government officials can think that they can say anything to make those people believe in what they said,
So
and
this is the
we don't.
last thing that I wanted to read to my audience.
Yes, yes.
The head of the the head of the brand of OIC in Fadera said the country was able to mobilize over 300 million, 350 million, maybe in dollars, sorry, $350 million. They were able to mobilize over $350 million, which was used to fund infrastructure projects ranging from roads, airport, and others. He disclosed that more than 4,500 individuals were accredited for the summit, adding that most of the logistical arrangements were awarded to Gambian companies led by young people. So Mr. Fadera added that hundreds of doctors, nurses, and security officers were trained and deployed to ensure successful hosting of the summit. And he said that the project related to OIC will be completed as planned. So that means any project that they have pending will be completed as planned. But he said that $350 million went to this project. This is a lot of money.
But $300 million and
350.
all $350 million, and all we have is one major road. That's all I see. One major road.
$350 million.
I mean, these people are playing with Gambians. That's what I would say. They are playing with Gambians. 300 million, 350 million. That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
that's
and he said that over 4,500 individuals were given opportunities accredited for the summit, and then then most of the logistic arrangements were given to Gambian companies. So that means they wanted to say that they did offer Gambian companies opportunities to do the work.
Yeah, but the thing is, we're not seeing too many stuff. We're not seeing a lot of work that's worth 350 million. We're not seeing that. That highway is not 350 million US dollars. That's not it. Okay. You know how much a helicopter, a paramedic helicopter will cost? 1.5 million. $1,500,000. You can get a helicopter that will serve the country. Just that simple. And I guarantee you, even if they got the helicopter, they would have probably said we spent $7 million on the helicopter. They will inflate the numbers. But anyway, I'm just saying, no, things are not that expensive. Things are expensive, but not that expensive. All right, they could have still built a 5-star hotel.
I thought in the beginning $350 million is but dollars.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah. That's
if you multiply that by 60, that would be billions.
Yeah, but you're talking billions. Yeah, you're talking billions. They got billions of dollars. So and all we can see there is that one major road, and then the vehicles that they bought and then rented. So where's the money? That's the question. Where did they put all this money? Because $350 million did not come to Gambia. Was not spent in Gambia like that. We're not seeing that infrastructural change there. Yeah, we're not seeing that. So there's a lot of, like I said from the beginning, when you look at the number of presidents that showed up, it's an indication. They did their homework. They were briefed that Gambia is not a stable country. Gambia still has economic shortages in there. That means they don't deem it as a safe place. 2, their roads are not very good. 3, there's no major hospital that these presidents can go to, if anything. 4, there's no helicopter service that can rush them in case of emergency. Okay. 5, they're going to stay in hotel rooms that people stayed in for a long time. Hotel rooms that have been used for a very long time. So there's no 5-star hotel.
Do you think we will ever get to the bottom of this expenses? Like because Gambia is known for Gambian is known for this kind of things, being corrupt when it comes to
Yeah,
been able to, like, account for things. We seen COVID funds that came to the country, and what
yeah,
happened to it? They
yeah,
started seeing names appearing as people who are,
multiple times. Yeah,
working,
yeah,
whilst those
yeah,
people are duplicate names, or some of them are deceased.
yep.
So how can Gambian people, like, make, like, find out exactly what happened with the money?
We probably not going to find out. You know why? We won't find out because they will push them under the rug and they will try to bury all of the information. They will do whatever they can to not to have that information available. This is what corrupt people do. They will hide their tracks so we can't see them. So when things like that happen, that you make it difficult for people to see and know anything. That's what's
And
going
then
to
and then
happen.
the
But
international and then the international community, I mean, or the people in the
yeah,
OIC, they would not have any
well,
reason to go and investigate these things. I
well,
mean, because
they
I don't think that's their
I don't
job.
think that's something they would do. They gave the money. They gave the money. You didn't use it that way. Well, guess what? Next time we're not going to give it to you. That's what happened. That's what Gambia will get. Next time we won't give it to you. We gave you all these funds and you didn't utilize it the way it's supposed to be. We're not going to give it to you again. And they won't go back into a country to investigate something in there for funds that like that. It's up to the Gambia government. If we had a president that wants to know, the president could put his foot down and say, I want to know what happened. And he could start firing people for not having the right things that should have happened didn't happen. Why did our soldiers, our security get hungry at the airport? Why didn't we provide food for them? Why didn't we pay the drivers after the fact? Why didn't we have that? I mean, if we had a president that would have really stood up, we would have had a 5-star hotel. Because the president, the first day they told him that this contractor
Well,
said
you
he's
were
not going to be
saying
able
that
to.
you see, I mean, they said they don't have any money, and then $300 million went
That's
where?
money. That is the money. They
The
had the money.
five-star hotel, how much that's going to cost?
Well, I don't know exactly how much that will cost, but it will go into millions, but it's definitely not going to be even half of that money. So they could have built it. They could have built a 5-star hotel. I mean, a simple 5-star hotel, story building. They could even put elevators in there. They could do anything they want in a 5-star hotel and put all of that there. That would have been benefiting Gambia today. We would have had a lot of our youths employed today. A lot of them would have been getting up in today and going to work. All three
But
shifts, first, second, and third.
this guy said, Fadera said that, the project will continue as planned. That means they're
Well,
not done
they
yet. Maybe the money
well,
still not finished.
well, they haven't even started the 5-star hotel. How is it going to continue? And that one is not going to continue. Where's the money? They said they didn't have the money. So where are they going to get the money now?
Maybe the other
Uh,
road projects that they had.
road projects, yeah, there are road projects. I mean, again, now, the way I'm going to look at this is, if I were in that press conference and I was allowed to ask questions, I would have said, look, you guys knew about this OIC conference since when? 2000 and something, 2016 at least. When this president came to power, he knew that there is a 5-star, there is a OIC summit coming. Why didn't you prepare properly and get this done? And that's where a president will get up and take action, because you do not want this kind of embarrassment. You do not want to have this. So take action by getting rid of people that fail to do their job, for failure to perform their job duties, which costs us, because today we regret why we didn't have the 5-star hotel. We regret why we didn't have all of this, so we can get some people off the streets and go to work. That could have been a huge opportunity for us, and we are not going to have it. And the government cannot employ all these people. You had an opportunity to have them employed, but you didn't take advantage of that. So it's a loss. To me, it was not successful, as they call it.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
yep.
when a research was conducted by African Development Bank, the Gambia GDP was sluggish at 4.3 in 2021 and 4.4% in 2022. Mainly because of the Ukraine and Russia war that could have impacted that, the tourism and other things, and the private investment and so forth. So right now, this project, people were thinking maybe that would, help the GDP to go up a little bit.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our economy.
But President Barrow, when he came to power, in his own words, he said, "We came to power. Gambia was not doing very well as far as international relationship and acceptance are concerned. It was our first policy to make sure we open up the Gambia and we brought back our friends and we were successful in that. We launched new projects and we have launched the OIC project, which was initiated by Drammeh, I think. And we are talking about 50 kilometers and another 22 kilometers of a 6-lane highway. And then these were the words of President during the interview. During one interview by these folks. So what after all said and done, the OIC project was aimed to positively affect the Gambian economy.
Yep.
The Gambia was thinking about having flying bridges. Do we have one of them? You've been there recently, right? Do you have
we don't even have. Now listen, we don't even have
flyovers in the country when you were there.
Yeah, I've seen the one that they built on this same highway. This one highway that we're talking. It is an overpass. Okay, Gambians call it flyover. I don't know why they say flyover, but it's an overpass.
No, the Gambian term, and then of course, the natural term is different.
I know.
When they say flyover, as long as we know,
flyover, nobody flies over it. It's an overpass. That's what they should call it. It's an overpass.
Again,
I've seen that overpass.
If we wanna really dig into everything, we're gonna get.
No, I know. Well, I won't call it. I just will call it the way I know it. It's not a flyover. It's an overpass. So I'm gonna say the overpass.
Them is a fly.
I saw that. So. But I saw that. I saw that one. In around the Coastal Road area, somewhere around there. So. But anyway, some of all of this, especially all of this, I look at it as it was when I say missed opportunities to build our economy. That's what it is. You should have been focusing on building our economy. This was an opportunity to really bring a stronger economy because we're going to put more people to work, and we failed. That's as simple as that. Anything else they were saying was a dream. It was a dream, and it's a dream that didn't come through.
So the president is saying that he's going to finish at a very high note. He's talking about the Constitution most of the time to bring that back. He said his opposition will be talking about corruption, but they will never talk about the economy. He said that the economy has grown from 1 and 2%, and it was struggling. And today, he said the GDP is 6.1%. So the president is defending himself there.
Those are the numbers they gave the president, and that's what he is going to read. Now, is that true? I don't know. It may be true. Okay, but even if our GDP is at 6%, let's say what the president said is all true. What I'm saying is we should have passed that. We should have passed that, and this OIC summit would have made us even better. But now we don't have what we should have had, so therefore we're not going to go there. That's it. We lost opportunities, a lot of opportunities, especially employment opportunities for our youths. That's what we lost. And those youths are still going to continue to sit on the streets and drink a tire.
Yeah, so he went on and mentioned that there is a road called Hakalan Road. It is a famous road. It is about 86 kilometers. We have another road that is about 50 something kilometers long. We have another road over 80. Yeah, 80 something. What is it? Yeah, 80 something. Yeah. So the contracts that are going on for roads construction are about 300 to 400 kilometers. They are all doing well, the president said.
That is fine, which is all good, but they have to keep in mind.
What is it true, though?
The president cannot just be focusing on roads. Roads is part of infrastructure, is not the only thing for infrastructure. Electricity and water supply. That's another part of the reason that these presidents didn't come. They know that Gambia does not have stable electricity and water supply. They know that. All right. So why don't we focus on electricity and water supply? Why don't we focus on our healthcare? Why didn't we focus on building the 5-star hotel so we can put people to work, and then we go build the rest of the roads out there? Because right now those roads are there. People are still traveling on them, good or bad. They are still using them, right? And when those roads are ready, yes, it will benefit people, but it's not going to employ a lot of people. So why don't we start with employing a lot of people to try to build the economy, build the cost of living, allow people to live in a better life, then go out and build roads. That way everybody is at least making a decent minimum wage or a decent wage. So
he went in and said that they have increased the percentage of collecting taxes to 100%. The most interesting thing is the using the state resources to do most of their projects.
What about the loans that they took? We know that the Gambia took so much in loans, so much. On top of all the grants that we had, we also took a lot of millions for loans. What about those? What happened to those loans, the money?
Yeah, they're not talking about loans. They are talking about, they say the state is sponsoring most of their project instead of yeah, that's what they're saying. But nobody's talking about the deficit that we have.
Exactly. So it's a two-way street. You talk about this. If you don't mention this other part, people are going to talk about that part too. So that's where we are. At the end of the day, again, this just to wrap it up here, this OIC summit, I think was a missed opportunity for Gambia. We could have done more and much more, actually. That would have created a lot of employment opportunities for our people, for our men and women in the Gambia, and so they can make a difference in not only in the economy, but in their own personal lives and their families. So that is the opportunity that we missed. Anything else that happened, it happened. Yes, we all know what happened, but we also know that we lost a lot of opportunities, and the opportunities was the most important part for us, for me.
Right. Yeah. So again, the president and then of course his supporters and the people who are considering this as a success said that Gambia is better now in building relationships, especially with the Arab world. Gambia is getting more recognized, having more friends. The credit goes to the administration for that, they're saying, and they have a seat in ECOWAS. I think the president of the ECOWAS. Now they have the chair of the OIC with president is the president now. So these are all areas that they say people are not talking about, compared to the past, past eras. So they they said that they need to be recognized for all this good relationship. But the only thing is, are this relationship translating to economical gain?
They don't.
Are we doing
No.
anything to build on this relationship? Because the reason why people relate is to exchange, right? To empower one another, right? To be able to do stuff together to lift everybody up. But all these countries that they're talking about building good relationship with, those are higher, far higher than us. We should be able to lift each other, right? If they lift us financially or maybe another ways, or infrastructure wise or anything, we lift them up in maybe cultural way or other ways that we have,
So
but that's not happening. So you can go into this dinner table, you can sit in these conferences, sit tall, but does that translate anything? And if it does, then we're not seeing it.
So one of the things that I'll say I'll say here is, one of the things that really caused Gambia to miss some of these international relationship with some of these countries started in 1994 when we had a military coup. A lot of countries don't recognize military government, so they cut ties with Gambia. So Jammeh did what he needed to do to survive and make Gambia move forward. And then he changed and became a president, got out of the military and became a civilian president, right? So in Jammeh style is Jammeh style. So yes, there are some countries that will still say, well, it's the same person. You know what I mean? It's the same person. He was a military that staged the coup and won. Now he's a civilian, but he's still the same person. So, but anyway, long story short, yes, anything that happened on Barrow's regime, we should give him credit for that. Being a chairman for OIC is good credit, but let me tell you this: that is a position that rotates. It goes on and it goes on. Whether we performed well or not on OIC, it would have been up for somebody else to take, and why not give it to someone that just hosted? So that, and there are reasons behind all of this, so that the person that just recently hosted uh, will have the most and the greatest information, the latest information about hosting OIC, so they can help the next hosting country to help host it. So they will make them chairman. And after that, he's not going to be chairman for the rest of his life. He's not going to be chairman for forever. It's just a short period of time, and then the
I
next
think
time,
3 years. Yeah.
3 years, the next 3 years will go to somebody else. Another country that hosts it will be chairman. It just goes on. So that has nothing to do with Gambia. It's just their standard. That's their standard operating procedure. Is going to go to
No,
the
he
next
also
person.
mentioned that
So, but
ECOWAS also they will be president of ECOWAS and all of that. So
yep, yep. That's all good. That's all good. We can give him credit for that. You know, but like I said, these are positions that are rotating. They are rotating, and they will come back. Whether Barrow is there or not, it will come back at some point.
but
And
that
we'll
they
come
just
there.
trying to solidify their position. That they've been friends to people, and then of course Gambia is looking better. Like when Bush
Yes.
remember when Obama came and then
Yep.
Bush was had the Iraq War and all of that. Obama's
Yep.
point was that we're gonna fix America's image and all
Yes.
of that. So I
Yep.
think Barrow is taking the same,
Same
trying
thing. Is doing the same
capitalizing
thing. Yes.
on
Yes.
what
Yep.
Jammeh's shortcoming to
Exactly.
brand that
Which, yep, which is good. And in President Jawara's time, we had all of those relationships with Saudi Arabia, with the United Kingdom, with the United
right.
States, and all of them. We had that there. Like I said, Jammeh's military coup is what broke our relationship with some of these. And
Okay.
that's when they closed that's when the United States government actually closed the USAID office in Banjul. United States Department of United States Agency for International Development, USAID. They closed them because of a military coup. So some governments don't support that. So we lost those, and yes, Barrow is bringing them back because we had elections,
Yeah,
a
he
good
has to
election.
bring something back, right?
Yeah,
You have
yeah,
to bring something
that
back to
that
sell
is a
yourself.
must. That is a must, and
Yeah,
we'll give him credit for working with his government to bring us back into those,
yeah.
which is a good thing. And hopefully, we'll continue to keep them even after Barrow. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, so let's
yeah,
wrap it up.
yeah. Let's do
I
so.
have your final thoughts. I have some comments here that I would like to read quickly.
Yes, go ahead.
And give you a final thought. Somebody said that good evening to all of you. I swear to Allah, President Barrow is the worst president in the history of the country. It is all it's all because of the system failure and public institution. I'm watching
Corruption.
live from Faraba Bantang.
Okay.
Somebody also said that, oh, how's everybody doing? Lack of transparency is the problem here. They use the money to pay their meetings. No king has participated.
Mm-hmm.
Um, no king has participated. It has to reflect on our lives. Yeah.
Yep.
So those are some of the comments, and
Yeah.
thank you all for those who are watching now. I mean, you guys definitely, definitely really your comments really, really, are important, and then we are, reading it out here. So, we can also look at that as a good takeaway. Yeah. But Sam, your final
Absolutely.
points.
Yeah. Yeah. Finally, I want to thank those people and thank all the viewers and thank those who just made those comments as well. They have every right to their opinion, and their opinion matters. So what they said is something very important, and it is true. And corruption is what's killing our country. And like I've always said, if we don't kill corruption, corruption is going to kill us. And
But
we are deep into
which one
corruption.
would we prefer?
Well, we need to kill corruption. We need to kill corruption so that we can move our country forward and create a better future for Gambia. So that's all I want to say. Thank you, though. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam,
Yeah.
and thank you for all viewers for watching. I mean, this is great. I think to end, I would say OIC was a good opportunity, no matter how we look at it.
Yep.
The fact that it happened, it was just it took it failed before, the planning failed before. The fact that it happened to
Yep.
our country, at least the visibility, the awareness about the Gambia. And then, of course, I've seen some people, they say they make a bilateral relationship. Roy Malik Law was saying that he had a bilateral relationship with other countries, ministers.
Yes, it was an opportunity. Yes.
Yeah, so that could, other local officials, who are in local, places, local governments, they could make substantial relationship during this time to
Yep.
also work on their capacity, on their region, if they really want to, take advantage of the summit. Again, sometimes, knowledge is sharing, sharing is caring. So if you could, tap into this in the, places and ask what they do, they actually empower these, leaders at the local level to be able to emulate that or maybe get assistance somehow. I've seen the KMC mayor, doing that with Wisconsin mayors. He was here just like couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
With ties. So
Yeah.
so the meeting came up with some good things as well. But the elephant in the room is the corruptive approach or things that were said or planned and where the money went. I think basically that's what we need to know. So I hope the Gambian government and the people in charge of that OIC would come and with line by line and itemize everything that came in and everything that went out, then make sure that it was done properly. Because again, we can sit here and talk about all the failures, all the missed opportunities, but at the end of the day, if the money, we know where the money went, and we show that there hasn't been any corruptive behavior or act, then we could say we just failed to plan. We were not good at planning. We just didn't know the know-how, or we don't have the right people in the right place. Then we learn from that. Next time we do it better.
Yep.
Again, thank you guys for
thank you
watching. Thanks, Sam. Yeah. So
and thank you.
enjoy
Yeah.
the rest
Have a
of
great day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, our audience. Take care.